A coma, a ghost, and a love that defies time. Can shattered memories rewrite a tragic ending? Well, with this manga, we're going to find out. So let's talk about it, shall we? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host, Zan. Say konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast. You can find us at www.spiraken.com, our main website. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Instagram, and all those other various social media sites. Just type in SPIRAK and I'll guarantee you find us one way or the other. And remember, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell for notification when we release new episodes. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because I'm excited to talk about this one, because it's been a while since we've talked about this mangaka. And who are we talking about? We're talking about Ai Yazawa. Yep. Creator of Nana and Neighborhood Story, which we talked about 6 months ago. She has a new one that is out, and actually this is one of her older stories, and it's been released in a very unique way. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's actually start talking about this manga, shall we? Because if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga, and it did turn to be reviewing the manga known as Last Quarter. And this is a story of mystery, of love, of remembrance, of lost memories. Now, usually I tell you a little bit more about what's going on throughout the entire narrative, but this situation, I'm going to leave some of it ambiguous. I'm going to talk about the first chapter and then the beginning of chapter 2, just to wet your whistle, to get you interested in this story. Because this is a story of two people who meet one day in the middle of the night. We're talking about Adam and Mizuki. And when this young Japanese high school student meets this mysterious rocker, she's drawn to him. He's unique. He's different. He is a very charismatic young man who pretty much she's captivated by. And he's this British musician who's been around a while, and she ends up spending lots of time with this guy at this mansion that he apparently is renting out. We're not entirely sure. But it leaves the point of her actually running away from her family, which is where we open up, where she's running away from her family. Her dad just married someone else, and they have a kid. So obviously he was cheating on her mom. Her mom died, and now they're married. So she hates her new stepmom, hates her little sister, who loves her because that's her big sister. And she's just going to run away and stay with this guy that she just met. She just got out of a bad relationship anyway. Well, she thinks a bad relationship. And she ends up going to meet Adam at this location. And we go back to their courtship of them falling in love, because Mizuki had never met someone like Adam. He's this guy that under the full moon, she first saw him and listened to his beautiful music and this beautiful song that's haunting and wondrous and beautiful. And the song is known as Last Quarter. That's what he tells her the name of it was. It was written for his former love who passed away years ago, this woman whose name was Sayuki. And as they spend time together over these several weeks, she falls madly in love with Adam, and Adam doesn't want her to go away, and she wants to spend time with him in this, essentially like this honeymoon phase in a wonderful, beautiful mansion. And she notices some things about him, like he's constantly cold, and also there's some evidence that he might not be as clean as she thought he was. For example, he's got track lines in his arms, and he's kind of evasive, and he constantly wants her by him. But she can't help but love him. For some reason, she's drawn to him. She wants to be with him. And he kind of gets confused at some point, saying, "It's your fault for dying." But she's not dead. She's alive. So maybe he's thinking that she's Sayuki. We're not sure. But their love for each other goes through until one day, he disappears. She wakes up in the mansion. He's gone. All it's there is his guitar. And her phone rings. Her phone, it's actually Adam saying, "Listen, I gotta go. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I didn't want to wake you. I'm gotta go." And it's like, "I don't want to leave you. I don't want to lose you." "Well, how about this? I'm leaving at sunrise. Meet me where we met the first time," which is a specific street corner. So that's when we open up. She runs to go to the house. She gets her stuff. She's ready to run off and be with this guy forever. And then, well, she focuses on meeting this guy. She's so excited to meet him. It's going to be great and wonderful and amazing. Until, as she's running to see him, her former boyfriend sees her running across the street and says, "Hey, Mizuki, stop!" And then she realizes she's about to be hit by a car. And she's hit by a car. And when she wakes up, she is at a huge empty white field with a huge set of gates that are pearly white. And behind the gates are Adam. And she's confused about what's going on, but she's drawn and she hears him playing his song. And maybe she wants to go this place. Who knows? But as she is listening to this music, at the same time, a young girl by the name of Hotaru is also involved in a car accident. She's looking for her lost pet cat, Lulu. And when she's hit by a car, she ends up in the same location as Mizuki. And when she wakes up, Hotaru sees the world in a little bit of a different light. And one day when hearing some weird music, she ends up going to that old abandoned mansion and finds a ghost girl that she calls Eve, who is looking for Adam. And with this, our story really begins. Who is Eve? What is going on? Why is Hotaru able to see this ghost girl? Who is the ghost girl and how is she connected to Adam? And what is Adam in all this? And did Adam know she was going to get hit by a car? Or is Adam something else? That's what this story's about. This story is one of those ones where it's a mystery, it's a romance, and it's this supernatural story that you get drawn into. And at first you're like, oh, it's going to be Mizuki's the main character. She's not. Hotaru's the main character. Mizuki is the catalyst for all this that's going on. And there's more to the story. Some interesting elements, some parts of people not believing in ghosts, finding out ghosts are real, but maybe people are not what they seem to be. Maybe it's not a ghost. Maybe it's something else. I'm not going to say anymore because this is one of those ones you have to read yourself. It is a compelling, beautiful, bizarre, strange, wonderfully drawn, and enigmatic story that keeps you guessing until the end. And I mean, you could see, if you've read enough manga, if you've read enough romance novels, you know where this story's going. But it's still a captivating ride. And like I said, this was released as a bunkoban manga. And what does that mean? Pretty much there's 3 types of mangas that can be released. There is a tankoban, which are the standard mangas. For example, Takeshi from the Bike Shop. This is a tankoban. It's smaller, it's thinner. This is how it works. You get multiple copies of this. This was released as a bunkoban. Bunkobans are thicker. They're not omnibuy though. They're just a thicker quality manga. And these are used when you want to condense a story. The original version of Last Quarter was released as tankobans in 3 volumes. They decided they're going to go with the bunkoban version, which is just 2 volumes, because it's separated by the phases of the moon. And there are 8 phases of the moon, so 8 chapters. Well, actually, I think it's more than 8. I think it's 12. It's 16 chapters. My bad. I should know better than that. But the whole thing is about the phases of the moon, and it kind of gets to all the points of it. But overall, the story, the release was exceptional. It has a beautiful new manga smell to it, and this was printed beautifully. You have these such great elements to it, and there are a few color pages, not too many though. The only one that really matters is that first one of seeing that moon above the mansion. And, of course, the image of Eve, aka, or maybe it's Mizuki. We're not entirely sure. And it's got a beautiful release. Shojo Beat did a great job with this. This is a shoujo series that I would classify as josei because you have track lines in it, but it's a shoujo. And this one just, it draws you in. And there actually is a film adaptation of this, surprisingly. I wanted to research the film afterwards. It came out, I believe, in 2004. And it's kind of hard to get a hold of. I'm probably going to find it on some website randomly, or I can order it. But I do want to check this out to see how they do this because it is such a captivating story. Now, that out of the way, how's the art? As you saw, this is Ai Yazawa on peak. This is a phenomenally designed story that, more importantly than that, this is the last story that she did using dip pen and brushes. It helped convey according to her, it could help convey the mood of the story better. And this, where you could see its dip pen brushes, it looks phenomenal. It is a beautiful artwork. It is some of her best work. Is it as good as Nana? Nana's really, really good, but there are some moments that are just hauntingly beautiful. And also hauntingly disturbing. Like, the kid characters, let's be honest, that's her usual jam of let's draw them kind of weird. But then where she is dedicating the work, where the scenes where she is focusing, oh, that is some beautiful artwork. So this is definitely worth checking out. Now, what's the other element about this? Well, honestly, if you're someone who doesn't like things like final exits or darker stories, this might not be for you. It's a little bit triggering for that element. The story still is great, but there are some very dark moments to it because essentially there is final exits. There are a lot of death in it. I know I should say unaliving, but there's death in this. Well, I'm trying not to spoil it so much. I want to talk about this, but I'm not going to too much for the plot. But overall, it is worth checking out. But if you're not a fan of a story which is mysterious like this, if you're not a fan of romance, if you're not a fan of, well, a few other elements. For example, if you don't like a female protagonist or a kid protagonist, or the fact that you don't know who the protagonist is, you might not like this story. And because of that reason, I have to give this our second highest rating of Borrow from Friends, Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky. It's really good. You got multiple protagonists in this mystery. It has the outstanding art by Ai Yazawa. It is a dark, fascinating, supernatural mystery story that's only 2 volumes, which on the one hand is really good, but on the other hand, you want to know more about it. So this is a one-shot that there's never going to be a sequel to. It tells a story A to B. But it is a little short, but it is a full, complete run. It is like that sweet spot of 90 minutes. So you might like this, you might not. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I was on the fence at first, but then I just, the first chapter, I was like, what is this about? And then it gets really cool. So yeah, the only thing is, this is not for everybody. It definitely is not. But if you've read this or you like Ai Yazawa, let me know your thoughts. Email me at Zan, that's XAN at Spiraken.com, or you can tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts, or leave a comment down below on if you like this, if you don't like this, if you're not a fan of Ai Yazawa. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, let's actually get to the thing which is a little more important. Random question of the day, which is going to be simply, would this make a great OVA series? Because this has been made into a movie, but would you want to see it as an anime? The concept of this mystery, or do you think that, nah, it works as just a live action premise? Let me know your thoughts. So with that, let's actually get to the next part of this, which is, of course, my favorite part, which is the manga releases of the week. And we've got some interesting ones this week, some really fun ones. Because we're starting off with The World Bows Down Before My Flame, the Dark Lord's Army Goes Chop Volume 2. I know it's a freaking crazy title, right? Then we've got What Did You Eat Yesterday, Volume 22. This series is still chugging along and still as intriguing and engaging as it was before. It is still a foodie's dream. Then we have Way of the House Husband, Volume 13. It's still going on. Wandering Witch, Volume 15, the novel. Victoria of Many Faces, Volume 2. The Uncanny Counter, Volume 5. Trillion Game, Volume 4. Tomb Raider King, Volume 10. Spoil Me Please, Hinamori-san, Volume 3. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, Volume 4. This series is still doing the same thing. Like I said, it's still spinning its wheels. Is it going to be better? I don't know. Slow Life in Another World, I Wish, Volume 8. Shoshoten, Volume 7. Seraphim of the End, Volume 32. Semantic Error, Volume 2. Rise of the Outlaw Tamer S. Rank Cat Girl, Volume 5. Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time, Volume 14. Parallel, Volume 21. The Other World's Book Depends on the Bean Counter, Volume 3. Origin, Volume 9. One Punch Man, Volume 30. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Volume 6. Ninjaverse Gokudo, Volume 6. My Secretly Hot Husband, Volume 2. Mushoku Tensei Novel 2. This is a re-release. Men of the Harem, Volume 2. Magical Artisan Dahlia Wilts No More, Volume 7. Made in Abyss, Volume 13. Maboroshi, the one-shot manga based on the movie which came out in 2024. Last Game, Volume 8. I believe this is the final volume of the series. The Last Elf, Volume 1. Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service, Omnibus 6. This one looks exceptional. The Kept Man of the Princess Knight, Volume 4. Rei X Yaku, Volume 5. I'm in Love with the Older Girl Next Door, Volume 1. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon? Myths, Minor, and Legends, Volume 1. Insomniacs After School, Volume 9. I've Been Killing Slime for 300 Years and Maxed Out My Levels, Volume 16, the novel. The Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, Volume 8 of the light novel series. I Tamed My Ex-Husband's Mad Dog, Volume 2. The Husky and His White Cat Shizune. Heaven's Official Blessing, Volume 3 of the manga. Haikyuu, Omnibus 4, which is 10, 11, 12. Fool's Night, Volume 4. Fire in His Fingertips, Volume 7. Finding Camilla, Volume 3. Enid, Volume 5, hardcover, special edition, and regular edition coming out. Drac, Volume 2. Dog's Red, Volume 1. Dinosaur Sanctuary, Volume 6. Did you know my Yuri wins just for show? Death Marches in the Parallel World Rhapsody, Volume 23, the novel series. Days with My Stepsister, Volume 5. Dark Moon, The Blood Antithesis, Volume 6. A Certain Magical Index, QT, Volume 4. The Boy Who Ruled the Monsters, Volume 1. Berserk, Volume 42, the long-awaited new chapter, which is not done at all by Kentaro Mura. Battle Royale Enforcers, Volume 3. And finally, last but not least, At Your Service in Another World. So these are the releases for this week. Which one are you most excited about? Well, actually, wait, no, I have two more. Got it. Am I Actually the Strongest, Volume 9. And then last, and certainly not least, we've got Always a Catch and After Gods, Volume 3. So these are the manga releases for the week. Let me know which ones you're most excited about. There's tons I was really just psyched about for this week. But which ones you most want to read or check out? Or which ones don't you want to read? Let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com. The ones I'm most excited about are going to be At Your Service in Another World, Volume 1. This one is a Isekai Maid series. Could be really good. Berserk 42, we've waited so long. We're going to see if the new creator for Berserk is going to be as well as Kentaro Mura, or is this just going to be a big flop? Because it ended in such a weird place with 41. We're going to find out. The Boy Who Ruled the Monsters, Volume 1. This is a Monster Girl series. Could be good, could be bad. The Last Elf, Volume 1, sounds like a redone version of Frieren, where the difference is that she is the last elf. So kind of Frieren mixed with the Last Unicorn. This could be engaging. And then Maboroshi was such a unique film. I want to see what they do different in the manga. That's why I'm excited about these ones. But these are the ones I think are going to be great. Let me know your thoughts. And let me know what you think. But before we go any further, as usual, I want to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast and videos. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new subscriber. It gives me more motivation to keep doing this because I love doing this. I want to keep doing this. So I'm an old man who reads manga with thick glasses and large print. So thank you. Just so you know, we are still doing our GoFundMe to help me fix my laptop and more importantly, keep this podcast going. If you want to donate even $1, tinyurl.com/Spiraken or GoFundMe.com/Spiraken, or scan the QR code right now. Let me know your feelings. Definitely support us. Like I said, even $1 helps to help us keep going, because I love doing this. I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. So thank you so much. Also, in some other news, I am going to be applying to Animazement 2024. I decided to go for it. Bite the bullet. We're going to see what happens. I know that my laptop's still in the shop, but hopefully it'll be fixed by then, and hopefully we'll have a blast. I'm going to be applying some new panels. Again, fingers crossed. But digress. So anyway, let's get to the part that you've all been waiting for, the most popular part of this podcast. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga. Except no substitute. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a wheel of fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 584. We've got some great titles on here, some crazy titles, and more importantly, we've got some really dark titles on here. So let's spin, so we're going to review the next episode, shall we? Number 2, Hikariman. This one is about a guy who apparently gets electro powers. Don't know. This should be kind of cool. So we'll find out next week. But anyway, as usual, hope you enjoy this episode. I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. I'll see you later.